Anyways, so you have that. Alright, now let's get into what's happening in the news now. So look what's happening in the news. So here's a helicopter crash that just happened recently. And I've been documenting all these stupid crashes. Okay, I've been documenting them for years now. It's not just something new. And they all have 33s in them for some reason. Strange. And FAA, which is 611. Strange. Convert that to the numerical value. FAA, which is what they talk about all the time now. And just the other year, we had the first all flights grounded since 9/11. So you had FAA and 9/11 together, just like they were on 9/11. So you see there's a connection between FAA and 9/11, which is 6/11. That's why there's all these domestic terrorism in the news recently, and there's going to be more on both sides. That's what the news is. It's the left wing saying the right wing's terrorist, right wing saying the left wing's terrorist. Both sides are terrorists at this point. We have assassins killing the president and the government now. The left wing, you know, they're like saying that the right wing is terrorist. Anyways, now we have a Hudson River crash, which reminds you of the Hudson River crash with the plane, obviously. But it's also connected to this recent crash. We had this helicopter crash on 129, right? If y'all remember, we had the Reagan Airport at DC. And here's the runway that it happened on. So whenever you were seeing the story, this is what you would hear all the time. So you have runway 33. This is where the crash happened here. Okay? They were trying to land on runway 33 and they died. Okay? So we have 33 connected, and we have Ronald Reagan, which connects to Donald. This whole thing is a 9/11 event. Okay? And look at where they were pointed at. Runway 33. So see, he's trying to land right here, and then the Army the Black Hawk comes and hits the plane, right? And see, the plane was trying to land on runway 33, and look at where it's pointed to, the Pentagon. Now what's that have to do with 9/11? Remember 9/11, we had the plane supposedly hit the Pentagon. And just so you know, if you don't know, that the Pentagon, let's look up the Pentagon real quick. Pentagon construction started. Anybody know? Oh, September 11th, 9/11, 1941. Oh, so the Pentagon that was hit on 2001, 9/11, its construction started on September 11th, on 9/11. And this helicopter that was hit the plane is important. So let's look into the helicopter. It's a Black Hawk. The reason why the helicopter crashed is because it was in a drill. You have a drill again. So see, all these fake events have to do with drills. They're doing drills, and they're telling you that the drill is real. And it was in this thing called a cog drill. In the event of a disaster serious enough to put a continuity of government plans into motion. Now this is what they were doing. Okay, this is the drill that happened that day. Okay, that I'm saying is fake. Like they're telling you right here, they're planning a 9/11 event coming. That's what this is. That's why they were doing this. It was a 9/11 drill they were doing. Okay, and this is the type of drill, by the way, continuum of government was put in during the Cold War as plans against an attack from Russia, and specifically a nuclear attack, by the way. So let's let that sink in for a minute. Whenever I'm talking about all these stupid plane crashes and everything, and how they're about a 9/11 event coming, and about how they're a nuke coming. So you see what I'm talking about here? What's the odds that this stupid helicopter that crashed in this big drill that they're doing, right? While they're doing all these nuke drills and everything, and they're doing a continuing government drill, and that's what this happens to be, that runs into a plane that kills a 33-year-old. Okay? So we have Here she is, okay? This is the girl that was inside of there, Elizabeth Ann Keyes. She turned 33 the day she died in the plane crash between an Army Black Hawk helicopter and American Airlines flight. So you understand, they're doing some kind of nuke drill, basically. They're doing a continuity of government drill, which has to do with nukes. This is why I'm saying that these stupid plane crashes are not real. Okay? And then I have people that I'd say that to, and they go, act like, you know, that it's bad for me to say that. No, you're believing in made up victims. They're not real. There's nobody to feel bad about. It's designed to make you feel bad for these people, these victims of these crashes and stuff and war and all this stuff. It's not real. So this person here is an actor. This is an act. I'm showing you how it works over and over again. This happens every week. This is why I'm talking about it over and over every week. It's because they just continuously have these people that's 33 years old and they die. Or they have these major stories that have to do with 33. I mean, look at this. Runway 33. And it's the biggest story that's happening the whole month. Runway 33 at Reagan Airport connects to Donald Trump's assassination and Ronald Reagan's. That's why they're using this. So you have Ronald, which sounds like Donald, and you have Donald Trump, who acts a lot like Ronald Reagan in the news, and he always mentions him in the news. And then you have Ronald Reagan assassination attempt, which happened on 3/30. So you have the 3/3 involved with Ronald Reagan, an assassination, but that's not it. It goes even more into depth. So you have Ronald Reagan assassination attempt, but somebody else was shot there. This guy, James Brady, was shot in the head, and he's got a head wound, like I'm saying Trump's gonna get. And you see this guy, he was shot on 3/30, but he didn't die. He survived for 33 years. So 33 years later, in 2014, is when he died. Okay, so you have two 33s connected with, and I'm saying 33 has to do with corona, a head crown, a head wound. So you have this guy survives 33 years later, and the date that he happens to die on is 8/4. 8/4, which is the date I'm saying Trump's gonna have his head wound. And that's the 216th day of the year. And then we have, and not only that, but it's after we have all these other crashes with 33. I mean, look at this from years before, where I'm documenting all these stupid crashes. Look at this. What's the odds of this? I'm documenting all these dumb crashes with planes and 33s, right? Look at all this. 33 crashing, Boeing incidents. And then we have this story here with runway 33. Think about it. And it's a Boeing. Alright, and then we have her 33rd birthday. Okay? And it's a drill for a nuke disaster. Think about what I'm saying here. And then at the same time, not only that, but we have this. After I'm warning ahead of time, I'm telling all of y'all ahead of time what's happening ahead of time, and I'm saying all about the 33s all the time. 33 this, 33 that. And then I'm talking about nukes and this 9/11 event coming. And then what's the odds of this? You think about it. What's the odds of this? That now in the news 2 weeks ago, and around the time I made that last video, we have news talking about how America, USA, and Russia is starting to test nukes 33 years after their last ones. They're restarting their nuke testing program after 33 years. You think about that. What's the odds of that? Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? Alright, and then so here we have the new helicopter crash that just happened. And so see, I went through all that to get to this. So you have this helicopter crash with this family from Spain, and here's the number. So what's the odds that we have this new crash with 216? Think about it. What's the odds that the dumb helicopter is called 216 after I just showed you how that last helicopter crash is fake? Okay? And it's doing a nuke drill. Alright? And then this one's called 216, which connects to this whole thing with a 9/11 and a nuke and Trump's head wound. What's the odds of that? Alright? And think about it. You had this helicopter crash into the Hudson River. What does that remind you of? Reminds you of this helicopter that crashed into the plane on 129. Right here is the same type of story. They're just like redoing it here. So you see, the same day that this happened, we had another. So see, the same day that this second helicopter crashed into more water at Reagan at the same airport was the scene of a mirror collision 2.5 months ago that killed 67 people. And see, this just happened again. Another thing happened here. Okay? And it had people in the government on it, which obviously is a tell as well that they're acting. So here, this happens the same day. Do you understand? So this happened here again. So this happened here, and then 2.5 months later, you have another incident here, and that same day, you have a helicopter crash in the Hudson with a 216 code. And it's like the helicopter crash that happened, the one that's doing the nuke drill. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? Pilots were rehearsing plans for catastrophic emergency. Do you understand? This is what I'm trying to get you to see. They're telling you that there is a catastrophic emergency coming. They're telling you what I'm telling you. I'm trying to warn you that there's a catastrophic emergency coming. Why are they drilling for catastrophic emergencies that have to do with nukes? Why are they making nukes 33 years after? Think about it. Trump was shot 33 seconds after 6/11.